Okay, in this video we're checking out the GoFLY Scorpion 80 HD. It's another one of these little micro Cinewhoops that we've been seeing. I did a HD whoop roundup video like a week ago that covered some of the other ones I reviewed earlier, and then these are some new ones that have come out. I'm also going to be reviewing the SPC Maker Mini Whale pretty soon too. Should be coming out pretty soon. For some reason, I got this one before the standard version. So this again comes in a HD version and a standard version as well, with the EOS 2 camera, which is analog FPV camera, not the split mini version 2 HD cameras. So for some reason I got this one first and not the other one. The regular standard one has been reviewed by a lot of other channels already. I'll get that review out at some point whenever I get that, whenever that comes. I think it comes with the yellow canopy. Now, if you guys are wondering if this looks really familiar, this is exactly the same as the Spedix Rex 80, which also comes in a standard version and an HD version. It just has a different color scheme. I believe it's a blue canopy, but all the electronics parts are the same. This does come in 3 versions. You get the FreeSky version, Spectrum DSMX version, and FlySky version. There's also a non-receiver version. The receiver is just zip tied to the back here, and this is an XM receiver just with one antenna. The product listing does say it should come with an XM Plus, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe they switched that in their specs at some point, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to be getting an XM receiver and an XM Plus, so I have told Benga to make that correction on their product page. In terms of range or anything, it didn't really matter too much. I was able to fly it at the park where you would normally fly something like this. No problems, no fail-safe, something like that, so it was fine, but it does come in all those different versions. Not a lot in the box. You get here, you get an extra battery strap, and you get some of these, I guess, sticky pads that go on the bottom of the battery tray, but I didn't actually use that. And then you can also swap out that battery pad for the tray here, which is like the standard 2S LiPos, like 350 milliamps. Most people don't like these, so they actually didn't install this. They installed the basic just battery pad here, and I just used some sticky stuff on the battery to hold it in place. The battery I used is this one, GNB 520. You can charge this up to HP, but I didn't just charge it up to 4.2 volts. I think it'll make the battery last longer. And I got almost a 4-minute flight out of this, just flying at the park and stuff. It's a good battery. I think the tune that's on here will probably work with 353Ss to 553Ss, but I think this one here is a good one. I would say somewhere in the 450 to 520 is going to be a good weight and give you good performance in terms of the PIDs that are on here. Obviously, if you use some other battery, you might be able to have to adjust the PIDs. Now, the in terms of the rest of the electronics, let me just bring out this sheet here. This is the other thing that was in the box. F4 flight controller, of course, 12 amp 400 ESC. This is D-Shot 600 only, so it's not a 32-bit ESC. And then you get this half-sized 20 by 20 video transmitter, so it goes 25 and 100 milliwatts in PID mode, and it does use VTX remote control. I think it said somewhere here. I'm not sure. Yeah, it says Smart Audio here, but it's not using Smart Audio. It's actually using IRC Tramp. But yeah, the board in here is pretty good. It's a 20 by 20 board. In the stack, everything's nicely labeled here. It's silk screened. Camera, VTX. You got your UARTs for your receiver, buzzer, LED on the bottom, and then you're wiring them to your 400 ESC. This is, I believe all the same parts are also in the SPC Maker Mini Whale as well. But this one here, this frame is a little bit lighter. I think this is like 40. I mean, actually, I weighed it earlier, but I forgot how much I think it weighs. 40 something grams, I believe. So yeah. Well, I'm thinking of the Mobulus 7. I think the Mobulus 7 was like 44 grams. This is 54 grams. So yeah, it's a little bit heavier, obviously quite a bit heavier actually than the Mobulus 7, because it does have the bigger motors. I think this is the standard, pretty standard now on these Cinewhoops. 1103, 11,000 kV, and this is, I think, max up to 3S for that kV. I think the EC, not sure if it goes up to 4S. No, just 2 to 3S for this one. I think the Cinebee does have an EC that can go up to 4S, but that's on a motor with a lower kV, not the 11,000 or 10,000 kV motor. So yeah, it's 3S max on here. So yeah, as I said, I flew on the 520 3S. Flew pretty good, and with the tune that came out of the box, I didn't do any changes to this. I just flew it exactly the way it came. Basically, the only thing I put in my rates, I put in the modes for my transmitter and the switches, charged up the battery, and when it flew, I was up in the air in like about 10 minutes. And yeah, they did tune it, and it has I'm not exactly sure what version to be able to put there, like 3.5.3 or 3.5.5. It's not the latest. But, you know, in terms of flight characteristics, I thought it flew pretty good. Handled pretty well. No really weird flight characteristics or vibrations or oscillations that I could hear or feel. However, after with all saying all that, it does have some Jello, and again, this is, I think, this Jello thing with these little Cinewhoops, these little micro Cinewhoops, is going to be kind of luck of the draw. So again, like with the Mobula 7, I got unlucky, and I got one with Jello, and I think again I got unlucky with this one, and this one had Jello. Now, I'm kind of you know, thinking about this and wondering, well, you know, what's the percentage of likelihood that you're going to get one with Jello? I think it all depends on the build and the manufacturer. Now, there aren't any videos on the HD version that I've seen out there yet, so we'll have to see you know, how vulnerable this particular design is to Jello. Obviously, the Jello comes from the fact that there's vibrations in the frame, and it gets into the camera, of course, and that's that little shaking that causes those wavy lines in the HD video. And I think that just might be a, you know, just a Jello just might be a byproduct of the way this frame is designed and where the camera is mounted, you know, and the sort of you know, natural vibrations of this particular frame. Is, you know, it's not a bad frame. I think it's going to be pretty durable. It is somewhat flexible, which is, I think, you know, could contribute to some of the Jello issues. Whether your particular unit's going to get Jello or not, I can't say, because I know that I've gotten unlucky on some of these, and then other people have had less Jello. So I think it just really depends on the build you get. If you happen to get maybe some props that are a little bit unbalanced than others, you could probably try swapping those out, or maybe the motors are a little bit unbalanced. That's normally where most of the vibrations come from. And then, of course, the frame, you know, the way it's designed can either, you know, dampen down those vibrations or magnify those vibrations depending on where those are coming from and where the camera sits in the frame. So Jello is a complicated topic, so, and I've talked a lot about it in other previous videos. You guys can go back and look at some of those if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that. But yeah, I mean, I could try and swap the props out and everything, which, by the way, there's no extra spare props, they're just the ones on here and no others. You know, I've considered maybe swapping these out for 3-bladed perhaps. That might be better than the 4-bladed. You might get less Jello. There's a lot of different things you could try. Maybe adding some dampening inside the canopy here where the camera is mounted. Something like that. You could try that if you get Jello in yours. I'm not going to go through all that exercise because I did that already on the Mobula 7, and nothing. I did fix that. Props, all kinds of dampening modifications didn't really do anything for me. So, you know, like I said, your mileage may vary. It might work for you. It might not work for you. So if you're worried that you're going to get Jello on something like this, yeah, there's not much I can say. Mine does. Yours might or might not. Just depends on what kind of a build you get. So that's all I'm going to say about that. In terms of way it flies fine. It has a good tune out of the box. Obviously, the video quality is less than I was hoping for because it does have Jello. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, you guys look at the video quality and see for yourself if you want that or not. And, you know, obviously, for me, I would say no. But, you know, maybe if you feel confident that you could make modifications to improve that, then by all means, go for it. Anyway, guys, here's some more flight footage for you. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.